Lana.
Olivia.
Alexa. You want to go first?
Yeah. Well, where do I start? Do I start the one where my ex is dating the Megan? Was it the Megan Stallion? What's her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion. Meg. Megan. I'm just gonna call her Megan.
Who's
Megan?
Who is Mag?
I don't know. I just get my vowels like always mixed up.
It's okay.
So
She's from Russia.
She's a foreigner.
So I saw this.
Yes.
Me and Eva, we were sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok, and we're scrolling. Meg the Stallion pops up with some guy, and Eva's like, "Isn't that Olivia's ex?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, his name's Tory, right?
Yep.
Not Tory Lanez, a different Tory."
Yeah, not that one.
Just imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't even get mad though, because it's like, damn, like that's kind of a flex, you know? Like
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at that at all because like
Welcome back to Three Girls. I just wonder what his type is, because you guys dated, then he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look
very
like
similar. Like
you
we
guys.
all looked, yeah.
So I'm just curious what his type is.
What I've learned in my 29 years, men don't have a type. They like whatever.
Oh my god. Like, my ex is dating Meg. I'm just gonna call her Megan the Stallion. Like, totally doodly. Y'all know I went to college, got my education. Yeah, y'all may have knew that I majored in biochemistry and molecular biology. But let me tell you what I minored in. I minored in caveology, okay? And this is the age-old cave story. This is like elementary, my dear Watson. Come on now, right? This is 101. This is like an introductory course in the caves. This is not even getting deep into the depths of the caves, right? This is barely like we barely inside. We just took a little sprig of a step, you know, a little something. The passive aggressiveness of white women, like anybody could make this video. This requires no expertise. We all recognize this. Let's be real. Bethany, Becky, and Bridget wanted to get on here and be like, I can't stand that big black baboon bitch, that fried chicken eating, collard green cooking ass bitch. Like, that's what they wanted to do. But instead of doing that, they got on here talking about, oh my God, like totally diddly. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name. Is it Meg? Megan? Like, come on now. I get a lot of comments on my YouTube from white people making fun of my name, right? I'll get comments from them. They'll say, oh, Chantaquavia, what did you think? Oh, Shaquivia. You know, they say all this stuff, right? And it's crazy because would you believe that my name is Rachel, right? Like, come on now, right? So this is my thing. We see in this video, the totally doodly crew is sitting here talking about, oh, is it Mog, right? Now, clearly they know how to pronounce the name Megan, clearly. But they sat here and did this anyway because it's never actually been about not being able to pronounce the name. Even if the name is the blackest sounding name that you can think of, they could pronounce it if they wanted to. But the reality is that they do not want to. I remember years ago, I used to be a pharmacy technician, right? And I remember a woman called into the pharmacy, and just from the sound of her voice, I could tell she was black, right? But, you know, when somebody calls, you know, inquiring about their prescription, you have to verify that it's them. So you say like, oh, you know, I don't forgot now, but you asked them for some other verifying piece of information, right? I said, oh, is this so-and-so I'm speaking to? And I read her name. Now, her name was a very black sounding name, okay? I'm not going to say her actual name for two reasons. One, that is a HIPAA violation. And two, I forgot her motherfucking name anyway. Okay, so like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, right? But let's just say her name was Shantanique or something, right? I read her name. I said, oh, is this so-and-so? And she said, yeah, right? So after I hung up the phone, you know, we got done with whatever that call was. My white coworker was standing next to me and she said, wow, I could have never read that name. Like, you know, I can't believe you could just read that. And I just said, well, I'm black. But I didn't go into the details of the name was spelled exactly how it sounded. Like, quite literally. All you had to do was sit there and pronounce the letters, and that was the name. Like, if you can read, if you passed kindergarten, you can sound the word out, you could have said that woman's name, literally. Now, if her name had been spelled in a way that it was like, okay, yeah, it doesn't look the way that it sounds, then I would have been more understanding. I'd have been like, okay, sure, I'm not mad you couldn't pronounce that. But the fact that all I did was read her name straight as it was, like, it took nothing past a kindergarten education, I assure you. And she couldn't do that. That's how you know they literally go out of their way to do this. It's not about them not actually being able to pronounce the name. It's just about them humiliating us. And this is not a new thing. This is not a recent development. Let me tell you all about a paper that I wrote when I was in college, because I took some elective class about communication and speech development or something, right? And there was a unit on AAVE. So at the end of this course, we got to write a paper about whatever unit we wanted. And of course, I chose AAVE, right? So I was in the library getting all these books and reading them and stuff. And there was one passage that perfectly sums this situation up, right? The passage was about how when we first got here, we still used traditional African naming practices because clearly the first Black Americans were Africans, right? But these names began to be used as insults. So white people began to use the word quao, Quao, that means like a male born on Friday or something, I think, right? They began to use that name to mean like a stupid man, right? And then there was one female name, I forget it. I think it was like, a woman born on like Wednesday or something, right? But again, I forget what the name was. They began to use that word to mean like a promiscuous woman. So of course, when these negative associations began to cling to these names, then we stopped naming our children them, like, clearly, right? So now we have new names that we created, but the treatment from white people hasn't changed at all because, again, it was never actually about the names, right? Whatever name we come up with, the same thing is going to happen because it's simply about humiliating us, quite literally. Now, let me move on to my next point, right? So one of the women says, oh, yeah, I saw a picture and it says Megan is with this guy, Tory. And she says, not Tory Lanez. And all three of the women began to laugh. Now, my first thing, I just think this is weird, period. Laughing at the Megan and Tory situation. Because, like, okay, some people think Megan is lying. We can get into a conversation about misogynoir and all of this other stuff. But let's not even. Let's pretend that people legitimately just think that Megan is lying, right? Still, somebody got shot. You think she lying, about Tory shooting her as opposed to her friend shooting her or whatever. Somebody still got shot. Like, how is this shit funny? I don't know, right? Maybe y'all disagree with me there, okay? But my second thing is this. How are all of y'all laughing? And no, let me focus on the one in the middle. I believe she said her name was Olivia. Like, totally, right? How are you kikiing about a Tory Lanez joke, but you was just acting like you don't know Meg Thee Stallion's name? Clearly you know that girl name. You know who she is. Clearly, right? Enough to be giggling at Tory Lanez jokes. But you sat there and acted like you didn't know her. Because again, this is all about trying to humble Black women in this case specifically. Then after this, the girl on the left says, I just wonder what his type is because, he dated you and then he was dating some other women while you two were together. Girl, why did you throw that in there? Like, you really just wanted to, like, hoe her, but whatever, right? And she says, and, they all look similarly to you, right? But now he's dating Megan and I wonder what his type is. Now, the girl on the right, that's the only girl up in here who got some sense. Like, for real, because she was like, I'm going to tell y'all right now, my 29 years, I learned that men do not have a type. And that is true. Okay, hold up. Give Bethany a gold star. Because when I tell you, y'all, when I was younger, I was talking to this one guy and it was a mess, right? And I used to just like really beat myself up about it, right? And I was like looking at this picture of one of the women that he was talking to. And I was like, wow, she is like so beautiful. Like, I see why he would want to talk to her. Like, she looks, like so much better than me, right? And would you believe, let me tell you the craziest thing ever that happened, right? Somebody randomly posted a picture of her and they said, who y'all think she looked like? And everybody commented, Flower Tower, Flower Tower. Wow, she looks just like Flower Tower. Wow, she and Flower Tower look exactly alike. Dang, I thought this was a picture of Flower Tower. Wow, wow, wow. Flower Tower looks just like that. And in that moment, I was like, wait a second. Like, wait a second. I sat here beating myself up like, oh, wow, she looks so much better than me. And I was literally like, wow, she's like the most beautiful person ever. Like, clearly, he would want to talk to her. Just for us to look the exact same. So, I mean, okay, I guess the nigga does have a type. Okay, sure, that checks out. But, like, it showed me though, you should never compare yourself to the next woman a guy talks to or the woman he talked to before you. Never, ever, ever. Because men will do whatever with whoever. That is the honest to God truth. Like, they will stick their dick in a damn hyena as long as it got a hole for it to go in. I'm not even joking. So, again, Bethany needs a gold star. Now, I say all this about not comparing yourself to the woman before or the woman after, because men will stick it in absolutely anything. But I got to call myself out on the hypocrisy, because I done said 100 times, oh, y'all, and at this point, I'm going to say it 100 more. I can't date no man who has dated white women. Like, whenever y'all try to come back to the dark side, I'd be like, not interested. Like, it's something fundamentally off about that. Now, y'all tell me, do y'all think that counts as comparing yourself to the next woman or the last woman? I don't think so, because it's not coming from that place of insecurity or really comparing yourself to the woman. It's coming from a place of, you know good and well that this system of white supremacy is in full force, and that woman that you dating is cool with it, right? But you still was like, okay, this is cool. So clearly something is off in your brain. Why the fuck would I date you? Like, what? That's where it's coming from. It's not coming from a place of like comparing yourself to women. Like, no, hell no. But I have to be honest, y'all. I have to be honest. Them two birds on the left, the one in the middle, like, totally, and the one on the left proper, right? Them the type of white women that, ooh, like, just make you, like, itch a little bit. You like, ooh, y'all got bed bugs in here? Like, them the type of white women that get, they, like, I don't know, my spirit don't receive them well. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Now, the one on the right, she probably racist too. Do not get me wrong. Odds are she gonna be racist too. But I'd at least, not be itching around her. Like, I'd at least be like, okay, like, my spirit ain't completely uneasy in your presence. Like, some white people, I get around them, I don't know what it be. Maybe it's like some ancestral something or something. Like, maybe I can detect the slave master's descendants or something, because some of them, you get around them and you just be like, and again, like I said, it ain't 100% of them. Now, I don't trust none of y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, maybe the ones my radar don't go off for, it be like, shit, like, I guess my radar is broken right now, the fuck. But, like, I don't know, some of them make that like fight or flight sense go off a little bit. Like, I don't know, y'all tell me if I'm crazy. Like, I don't know, I can't really put it into words. You know what? I found the perfect way to put this into words, okay? Side note, I look really good right now. I look really good. Like, ooh, y'all, it be depending on the video. Like, don't get me wrong, I look good all the time in real life videos. Matter of fact, I know I look better in real life. Get them, yay. Okay, like, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just be looking extra delectable. Ooh, but anyway, pretend that it's like nighttime, it's dark outside, and your car breaks down, and you gotta go knock on the door and ask for help. Which of these white women would you prefer to answer the door? Like, just based off this little snippet of a video, how they look, how they, talk and stuff. Which one of them do you want to answer the door? Because I think that all of them will probably call the cops, okay? But the one on the right, I feel like she'd take a little longer. Like, she'd at least try to help a little or something. Like, I feel like the two on the left, they just straight up gonna be like, oh, like, they're not even gonna answer their door. They're gonna see a black person at their door and immediately dial 911, right? But the one on the right, she might at least like, speak through the door, be like, do you need something? And then when you say, like, your car broke down, she might be like, okay, well, like, I'm gonna throw this thing out the window to help you, but I am also calling the cops, so you better work quick, right? Like, y'all get my drift here? This is exactly why I said, like, something about dating a black man who's dated a white woman before is off. Like, it's completely off because it's like, your spirit don't feel that. Like, ooh, I got goosebumps and shit. Like, just ooh, like, I can't explain y'all. It's creepy. It's creepy. Like, matter of fact, like, imagine you watching a creepy ass movie. Like, I just watched The Watchers on Netflix. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't think I'd recommend that. But to be fair, I feel like I heard about this years ago, and so it must have been like a book that was popular, right? But it's basically about these creatures in the woods that watch people at night. You know, it's this creepy stuff, right? And that's kind of the feeling I get with white people when I see them. It's like, ooh, you know, like it's a little, right? So when a black man has dated a white woman before, it's like, you ain't feel that? Like, nah, granted, some of y'all are gonna be like, oh, well, you just said that not all of them get that feeling, right? But I think all of them do. It's just to like varying degrees because like some of them, it's like, you know, because like I said, my spirit ain't like completely, you know, at unrest around you, but I'm still like the hell, right? You know, so it's like different intensities. It could be that, or it could be like, oh no, like I don't want to be around you after the sun go down. Like, you know, you look like you be in some shit. Like, you know, y'all get what I'm saying, bro.